Welcome to part 3 of the demo. In this final section, we're going to vibe code and turn all of our analysis into a fully interactive dashboard using Streamlit. Streamlit is an open source Python framework that lets you create interactive web-based data apps using only Python. No front-end experience required. I'll walk you through how to transform our code into a Streamlit app and then deploy it to the web using Streamlit Community Cloud. By the end, we'll have a live dashboard that anyone can use. In this part of the demo, I'm going to vibe the code we use for the data analysis and turn it into a fully functional Streamlit app. If you're not familiar with Streamlit, it's a lightweight open source framework that lets you build beautiful interactive web apps directly from Python scripts. It's perfect for sharing data projects, dashboards, and machine learning models with others. What makes Streamlit especially powerful is how quickly you can go from data analysis to a deployable app. With just a few lines of code, we can create interactive filters, visualizations, and even export options, all wrapped in a clean, responsive UI. To start, I'm going to take the original data analysis logic and code and drop it into a Streamlit script. If you recall, I previously exported the Python code from the data analysis that I did in ChatGPT. If you don't have that handy, you can go back and export it from part 2 of this demo. To create my Streamlit app code, I'm going to start in ChatGPT again. Now, I'd like to turn all of this into a Streamlit data application. Can you provide code for that? Also, can you outline ways for deploying that application so it's an accessible website with a data dashboard? We'll run that. Great. Looks like I created a basic version of the dashboard app. Here's the code. I can see it imports pandas and the Streamlit framework, as well as matplotlib. ChatGPT also provided information for the requirements.txt file, which just lists the application dependencies. You'll see Streamlit, pandas, NumPy, of course matplotlib. I'm going to need this requirements file for deploying the app. And then here are the deployment options, along with the steps. I see I can use the Streamlit Community Cloud platform for deploying the app. It is free and simple to use. I see I start by putting the app code and the requirements.txt file in a GitHub repo. And then I go to Streamlit Community Cloud and create a new app from the GitHub repo. Okay. I have to just make sure all the data files are in the repo, or I'm going to upload them dynamically to the dashboard. Okay. So let's get started with deployment. Let me first get the downloadable Streamlit code and the requirements.txt file. I'm going to put those in a GitHub repo. Let me prompt ChatGPT for those. Can you provide the Streamlit code and requirements.txt files as downloadable? There we go. There's my Streamlit dashboard code. I'll download that. Then my requirements file, download that. I'm going to start by going to Streamlit Community Cloud since that's where the app's going to be hosted. Not sure where that is. Let me get the link. I'll be deploying to Streamlit Cloud. Please provide links. Let's fix this. Great. There's the link, streamlit.io. Let me go there now. Here we are. I'm going to go to free. This is eventually what I'm going to do. Deploy with Streamlit Community Cloud. And I'll log in with my GitHub to do that. But first, let me actually go to my GitHub account so I can create the repository to host all of the relevant application files and data files. So here I am, logged into my GitHub account. To create the repository, I'm going to go to New Repository. Let's give it a unique name, Customer Sales Data Dashboard. I'll give it a description, Data Dashboard for Customer Sales Data. I'll keep the repository private. Why not? Let's add a README file. Create repository. There's the repository. Let me upload the relevant files. These are going to include the Streamlit application files that ChatGPT created, as well as the data files. Let me go to Add File, then Upload Files. Here are the data files. There they are. I'll also add the Streamlit Python file and the requirements file. There they are. I'll commit my changes to the repository. And there's our full repository of application files and data files. Now we're going to create the application in Streamlit and pull directly from the files in the repository. Let me go back to Streamlit Community Cloud. I'll click here to log into my free account. Continue to sign in. I'm going to log in with my Google account. I'll click here to create my first app. Let's connect it to my GitHub account via my email address. I'll deploy a public app from GitHub. Let me locate the private repository I created earlier with all the relevant files, customer sales data dashboard. Let me point it at the Streamlit Python application file in the repository, app.py. That's the Python file ChatGPT generated for me based on my prompting. Now let me deploy the app. It'll be accessible right in my browser. And there it is, the first iteration of my customer orders and returns dashboard. I can see some of the basics at the top: total sales, total profit, unique customers, unique orders, return rate, average order value. Some really interesting dynamic filters on the left here. You can filter by date range, segment, region, category, even a toggle to highlight those Q4 peaks. Let's see what else we have. Oops, looks like some kind of error here. The app has encountered an error. The original error message is redacted to prevent data leaks. It's telling me I can click Manage App in the lower right of my app to view the error in the logs. I'll click the three dots here and go to Download Log. Allow that. I'm actually going to use ChatGPT to debug this. I'll go back to ChatGPT. I'm just going to give it that downloaded log file. Why not? Let it figure it out. Received an error after deploying to Streamlit. See log. Not really worried that I misspelled Streamlit. Upload the log file. Run that. Let's see what it comes up with. Here we go. Some kind of key error for category. Not really sure what this means. Please explain what is happening at a very high level. Here we go. Let's see. What's happening? Big picture. Your app builds two different versions of the data. Line item data. Order level data. Okay. What caused the error? Looks like it tries to calculate return rate by category using the order level data. Makes sense. We saw that in the analysis. But order level data has no category. So that's why we get the key error for category. The fix changes how return rates are calculated. It uses the order level data without category. Okay. Let me just download the updated files. We'll scroll back up here, find those files. The Python file, requirements file. Not sure that changed. Now I'll go back to GitHub and I'll update these files in the repository. Go to add file, upload files, and I'll just re-upload those two files, the updated Python file and the requirements file. Commit the changes. Just by updating the files in the repository, the Streamlit application will automatically update. Let's check it out. Here we are. Oh, see, my error message went away. That's good. See all the same information at the top here. Here's my monthly sales by category over time. Let me go ahead and start to filter this data. I'm going to change the date range to only include orders from 2017. I see it updated the visualization in real time. Let me try to filter by product category. I'll just look at sales for furniture or maybe just office supplies. That seems to work. I could also filter on region or segment. And this seems to highlight or de-highlight those Q4 peaks in sales. Let's see, what's here under profit? Nothing. Okay. We'll have to investigate later. What's under returns? Okay. This shows the return rate currently for office supplies. Now geography. Okay, this shows sales by region. You can see that. Let me change the category to furniture. Okay, it updates that. Let's look at technology. Okay, it updated that. Nice. What's AOV? Must be average order value. These are the top cities. Okay, not bad for a first iteration on the dashboard. Let's go back to ChatGPT. Let's make some changes to the code. Great, thanks. That worked. I'd like to make some changes to the app. Please allow me to filter by multiple segments, multiple regions, and multiple product categories. Show the selected filters somewhere near or on the sales data viz. That'll be good to see. You can remove the highlight Q4 option. I don't think we need that. Remove the profit option. There was nothing there. And AOV option. I don't think I need that. List the header values.
total sales, total profit, etc., instead of having them in a single row. They were hard to read. See where that gets us. There we go. Let me scroll down. I'm just going to download the files. Download this. Just like last time, I'm going to deploy these updated files to the repository in GitHub. Commit those changes. App should be automatically updated. There we go. You can see all the key metrics at the top listed now. Easier to read. Here are the selected filters. Now I can filter by multiple product categories, multiple regions. Let me change my date range here, 2017. It updated the selected filters here. Oh, looks like I can expand this here. Nice. Let's go to returns. Great. Shows the two categories. You add the third category. Geography. That looks the same, which is what I want. And then data. Oh, shows a preview of the data. All right, time to make some more changes. It's getting there. I'd like to add some additional features to the dashboard. Can you show an initial snapshot, 5 rows or so, of the data? Then show a summary table of the data, including column names, the data type of each, a column description, the number of missing values per column, and the number of unique values in each column. Just like we saw in our EDA. I want to see it in the dashboard. In terms of data visualizations, can you add some features where I can select a data viz type? For example, scatterplot, and then specify some relevant columns, variables, to be visualized in the plot. Finally, can you add an option to export the filtered data in a file? Thanks again. I'll skip right to the files and download those. Let's update the repo. Commit changes. Now back to the app. Here we are. I'm going to go right to the data tab. Hey, there's our initial snapshot of the data. First 5 rows of filtered data. Here's my summary table with all my data documentation for all the data columns. Let me filter my data. I'm going to look at 1 month of data in 2017. That updates the snapshot. I'm going to filter by region, by product category. Now I'm going to test this. I'm going to try to export the filtered data. I'll click Download Filtered Data. Here's the exported CSV file. I can see it's been filtered by order date, product category, also customer segment, and location. Great. That seems to work. Let's go back to the app. Here's returns. I want to try this added feature here, build a chart. So first, it looks like I can select a chart type. I'll stick with scatterplot. Then I'll select a variable for the x-axis. We'll do discount, and then for the y-axis, we'll look at profit. So this is discount versus profit. Let me add color based on the product category. It's just showing technology at the moment. So let me add another category. So we'll look at furniture and office supplies. There we go. Now we can see discount versus profit for all the orders in those two categories, at least for that 1 month of data. Let's change the date range though. I'm going to change this to show all the data, a little more variability. And let's add all 3 product categories as well. There we go. Now I'm going to change the chart type to a bar plot. We'll look at the bars for product subcategory. And for each of those, we're going to look at the total sales. Here we go. Top 25 product subcategories. This is for all 3 product categories. So now let's just filter on technology. Let's just look at the product subcategories for technology. There we go. Total sales for each. I want to iterate on this dashboard one more time. So I'm going to go back to ChatGPT. Sorry, I should have specified. Can the data visualizations be interactive? They're currently static. Should we use Altair or Plotly? Both are great Python data visualization libraries that support interactivity, but I'm not sure which one to use. Please advise and provide updated code. Also, updated requirements file. Thank you. There we go. Okay, looks like it's going to use Plotly. Quickly download these files. Deploy to GitHub. Commit. Here's the reloaded app. Nice. I could see these data visualizations are now interactive. Let me just change my filters here. I can mouse over particular data points. Here's the returns data. Geography. Let me build a quick chart. Scatter plot for discount versus profit. Now I can get more information about each of these data points. Some additional menu options here as well for each of the visualizations. You can download them easily. And that's our data dashboard in Streamlit. One last thing, if you want to share this dashboard with others, you can go to the share link in the upper right-hand corner. You can invite specific people if you like, or you can make the app public. Copy the link, paste this into a new browser, and there it is, publicly accessible dashboard.
And that wraps up the full demo. Whether you're a data analyst, a product owner, or just exploring what's possible with natural language tools, this workflow shows how far you can go with just Python, some smart prompts, and the right libraries. Thanks so much for watching, and if you try something similar with your own data, I'd love to see what you build.